Hi, I'm Dave Dinkle in my continuing series on warnings to real estate investors. The topic this week is, do private lenders really exist? It's a question of the day. Is there such a thing as a private lender? And how can you tell it's really not just another hard money lender or worse, a scammer? I get calls nearly every day asking for referrals to private money lenders. That seems simple enough, and if you Google private money lenders, you'll see tons of them. But let's first look at what is a private lender. The definition has been skewed and abused since people started talking about it. Loosely defined, a private lender is a person who loans his own money, but at interest rates and terms below what a hard money lender would charge. Sounds simple enough. What has happened is real estate gurus have taught their students to seek out private money in lieu of hard money. The problem is that hard money lenders have jumped on this as an advertising opportunity to sell their hard money programs. A true private lender is an individual, not an entity, who is loaning the investor personal funds that normally would be safe money, which is from savings accounts, retirement accounts, certificates of deposits, or checking accounts funds. The real distinction is that the private money is loaned well below hard money rates and is usually coming from friends, family members, or referrals from another investor. These private lenders seldom charge points, and their interest rates are 5% or more below hard money rates. The biggest distinction is that they do not require lengthy applications or credit checks, and they may loan 100% of the money needed to close. They may not require interest or principal payments until the property is sold. Our prime example is seller financing or a second mortgage at closing. So let's take a look at private versus hard money lenders. Now, this can be used as a checklist when you start talking to somebody who you think is a private lender, but comes up with some things that you're not sure of. So private lenders, no application, no credit check, bankruptcy is okay. No appraisal, possibly. Private lenders who have been doing it for a while may require an appraisal. It doesn't matter, you're going to give it to them. No upfront fees. 100% loan is possible. Profit partnership is a possibility. Quick decision based on you personally. And that's very, very important. If you don't make a good impression, you're pushy, you don't make a good presentation, likelihood is they're not going to like you. And remember, it's their money. It's taken them years to accumulate it, and it's safe money. So let's look at hard money lenders on these same points. Extensive application. Credit check and bankruptcy is an issue. And appraisals required. Should not be any upfront fees. And I stress that because I did one of these other videos on scammers that were charging upfront fees and never had the intention of loaning the hard money. 75 to 100% of the loan for the purchase price. Now I have 100% with an asterisk. Just yesterday I asked a hard money lender when he told me he had a 100% program. I said, wow, what does that mean if I want to borrow $100,000? How much money do I have to bring to closing? He muttered and stammered, and he said, well, probably about 8.5 points, or about $8,500. That doesn't sound like a 100% loan. So ask that question, how much money do I have to bring to closing when you're talking to a hard money lender? That's in the other video I did before. Usually there's no partnership deals available, and decisions are often slow at best. Hard money lenders can tie you up till just days before the closing. And then they come back with, the appraisal came back, it wasn't high enough, you have to put up an extra 5 or 10%, and you may not have the money. The deal's dead. If you put any upfront fees up, they're lost. So let's look at some other private lender points here. No points, no junk fees. They're the decision maker. Closing cost wrapped into the mortgage if there is any. Now I say closing costs. What I'm talking about here is the junk fees that they charge at closing. Terms of the loan are negotiable. Deferred interest and principal payments are possible. Now, they have limited funds, and ironically, hard money lenders have limited funds. Every year, I have a group of hard money lenders come to me and ask me, will you loan me some money? And I say, I don't do that. I do same-day double closings. Yes, but we need more money for closing at year end. Gee, I thought you were a private lender and you had unlimited funds like you used to say at the club meetings. Well, I don't have unlimited funds. I run out of money, blah, blah, blah. So what you hear and what are reality could be different, so be careful. Now, hard money lenders, points between 1 and 6 or more. I've seen 10 points as closing points on a hard money loan. Junk fees are likely. Now, what's a junk fee? I recently saw on a double closing the end buyer's statement where he was paying an inspection fee. Now, when I say the word inspection, the words inspection fee, kind of comes to mind that it could be $350, $850. In this case, they charged him $3,500 for a single-family home, 1,100 square foot inspection fee. The question is, was there really an inspection done? Now, in terms of who's the decision maker, they almost always have to get approval from a higher authority because what they're doing is re-offering other people's loan packages. Closing costs paid at closing. That means you pay up front. Terms of the loan are not negotiable. You can take another package, but it's going to cost you more up front or whatever. Monthly interest payments are a minimum, and sometimes they're amortized over a certain time period, so you're paying principal and mostly interest. Hard money lenders say they have unlimited funds only if they change the lender's package and go to another lender or borrow the money. Warning, simply don't Google private lenders and expect to get anything but a hard money lender in a sheepskin. Private lenders do not advertise. Remember, it's safe money, and they have a limited amount of funds, so they don't have to advertise for it. Again, I mentioned private lenders loan their safe money, and they have a limited supply. That's very important. True private lenders are as rare as hen's teeth. Now, that's an old slogan. What are hen's teeth? Well, hens, chicken hens, don't have teeth. That's how rare private lenders are. True private lenders will eventually become hard money lenders if they have enough money just loaning their own funds. Hard money lenders work with other people's money, or OPM, despite saying it's their funds. Now, they may have a limited amount, but in this case, when they work with other people's funds, they have virtually unlimited funds. Now, ironically, what they prospect for the other people's money is private lenders' money that didn't know they were reloaning their own money. Very, very common. So, for example, you go to a private lender and you say, I know you have some money and I would like to see you earn more. The banks aren't giving you enough on the return. Hard money lender says, how much money do you have? I have $200,000. Okay, well, here's what I can do for you. Every time I do a loan, I'll give you 1 point or 1% of that amount on the day of closing. Now, he may be charging 3%, or he should be, probably. That's normal. But he's going to give that person, let's say it's $200,000, going to give him $2,000 right there. What does that $2,000 represent to that private lender? It represents 1 year's income in their bank, but it's not over. Hard money lender says, now I'm going to give you 6% on your money, and I'm going to pay you monthly, or if you want, I'll pay you 8% when the loan's closed out. Now, 6%, $200,000. That's $12,000. 12 times what he'd be getting in the bank. So, hey, it's not hard to flip them over. They don't understand the process, so they're more comfortable loaning their money to a hard money lender and having it reloaned. So let's look at the hard money lender. What's he earning? He's also earning 6% plus 2 points, but he has no money in the deal. It's called an infinite return. The terms a hard money lender can offer are pretty much cast in stone and non-negotiable. Not so with a private lender. Be careful out there. So how do you find real private hard money lenders? Always go to friends or family members first, despite how much money you think they have, and offer them a deal. Just because your friends or family members may look poor, drive an old car, or something like that, doesn't mean they don't have a lot of money, especially in a retirement program. Now, they can't go down and take out their money out of a retirement program unless it's a self-directed program, in which case you can say to them, how are you doing in it? If they're doing mutual funds, they're probably doing okay, but they probably have had some stomach aches when the market goes up and down. This is different. It's cast in stone. In effect, they will get, if you directly put them on a mortgage, they'll get a mortgage on the property. They can foreclose, and if the investor has rehabbed the property, they're going to get their money back, probably plus interest and everything else, when it goes to sale. And one of the things I always tell private lenders when they're trying to come into the arena is, what do you think the bank is doing with your money right now? And they say, well, I don't know. I hadn't thought about it. Probably investing in bonds. Well, bond rates are 0.25%. They can't make money and pay you 1%. They invest in mortgages. All you're doing here is cutting out the middleman and doing it yourself directly. That usually is a pretty good tipping point. Ask for referrals and be ready to ask about their loan parameters if they have any. I've discussed those previously in the video. Determine immediately if they're truly private or hard money lenders, are hard money private lenders, meaning they've been doing it for a while. They realize they can creep up their rates. Never ever pay the prospective lender any fees up front, even if he says they'll be credited back at closing. Now, as I get calls from hard money lenders often asking for referrals for business, and I ask them, do you have any upfront fees? They hesitate, hem and haw, and say, well, I do have an application fee. Well, it's gone. There are plenty of hard money lenders that do not have application fees, that are national firms, reputable, and so on. It's harder to get money from them, but once you're in their system, it's pretty easy to then get money out of them, especially when you pay them back. If you can't find a private lender in time, make sure you have some loan term commitments in writing as soon as possible from your hard money lender, because he may change the parameters at the last minute. As I said, it's the slickest deal in the world for the hard money lender the day before closing to come back and say, we reevaluated it, and my superior, you have a superior? I thought you were the person. Well, no, whatever, but they came back and said the appraisal didn't come in. The construction costs were much higher than we thought. Materials have gone up, supply chain, blah, 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 blah. So now you have to bring in an extra 10% of the purchase price. Your purchase price is $200,000. It's $20,000 you have to bring to closing, and it's not helping you in any way because it's just increased, so to speak, the equity in the property, but it's not helping you to do the rehab and the other monies you need for cash flow. So for what I do as transactional funding, I want to tell you to assign any contract you can. Now, the caveat to that is there is an assumption about if you assign a contract, you don't have to pay any commissions. That's true. However, you can do a double closing and not have to pay any commissions on either side if you understand the process. That's not what the gurus teach. Just assign it, take the $1,500, $5,000, or even $10,000 profit and go away, and be grateful to me for telling you that. And that's not the case. Very oftentimes, because I fund them, the person that you've assigned it to goes on to resell it because he has a buyer's list for $20,000 more, $30,000, $40,000, or $50,000 more, and you could have made that money. So be very careful. I'm here if you can't assign it because the seller won't allow it, profit's too large, end buyer won't allow it, the state or closing agent or attorney won't allow it, I can help. Now, what is too large a profit? I say that's in the eyes of the beholder. For a seller, it could be as little as $5,000, or it could be as little as $1,000. You don't really know. And it doesn't mean because you go to the seller and you say to them, you understand I'm going to resell and I'm going to take a profit. It says that on my contract, so I'm legal and I can do this. Are you okay for that? And the seller says, I don't have a problem. I want to see you make money. What they're saying is, I want to see you make some money, but certainly not more than a realtor would make at 3% or 2.5%. Because why don't they just sell it through a realtor then? You go to the end buyer. The end buyer says, hey man, this is a great price. I can rehab this, and I don't care how much money you're making. Then when you get to the closing table and you have an A to C closing, you're not in there anymore. All they're going to see is your profit, your fee. And then the question comes up, you didn't tell me you're going to make $40,000 for 15 minutes at time. And buyer says, holy crap, I got taken and I'm not closing. Then what are you going to do? And if it hasn't happened to you, you've been very lucky. But when it does, it does. And I've warned you ahead of time what to do. You can do double closings with no closing cost on your part, the same as an assignment, except the end buyer and the original seller don't know how big your profit is. After thousands and thousands of closings, literally, I am your go-to guy to help you get deals done. I am Best Transactional Funding, and I say transactional because there's a company with a very similar name. BestTransactionalFunding.com. I'm Dave Dinkle, 47 years experience in the business. 954-274-1003 for all your same-day double closings for wholesale transactions. And I wish you limitless success in all that you do.